Hello, and welcome to my Shaman Enhancement Guide. I've seen a lot of people do YouTube videos on enhancements, and I thought, I might as well give it a go, compare to what people have said and get some feedback and whatnot. And hopefully just try and help some people out, because I know people have a lot of questions and aren't always, up to speed on every class because they may have played another class or whatever. So I thought I'd bring this out just to sort of help people out, because this is the one I've been playing since Cataclysm, really. So we'll be starting off from the very basics, which is your talents and glyphs, where to put them, how to use them effectively, and which ones to sort of avoid, for the wrong spec or whatever. I'll then be going into your kit, which sort of kit to go for, which sort of stats to go for, what sort of gems to put in which sort of sockets, and which sort of reforges to do to take out what stats you don't need, what stats you really do need, and so on and so forth. I'll also be going into practice, which is sort of your training on your training dummies, sort of getting your rotations right to then finally go out and kill your bosses with as high DPS so you can show up all your mates. Hopefully. That's what I'm aiming for anyway. Anyway, hope you find this guide helpful, so just sit back and I'll take you through what I know. So, let's get on with it, starting with, you guessed it, talents and glyphs. One thing I actually did forget to say in the intro is strictly opinion, because this is what I feel works for me, not what you should do, but as more of a guide. Don't forget this is a guide, so this is strictly opinion, so it's not fact, but it works for me, so if it works for me then it should work for other people. So we'll have a look at the talents now. Okay, enhancement, you get your lava lash, your dual wield, your mental quickness, which reduces damage, you get increased spell power, which is 55% of your attack power, you get primal wisdom, which not reduces mana, but has a chance to restore it on hit, and your mastery increases damage done by all your spells by a certain percentage, depending on your mastery. So we'll click enhancement and we'll get started. 2 talent points in elemental weapons, because that increases damage done with your elemental weapons and unleash element, and the passive effect of your weapon enchants. Focus strikes, put 3 points in that, because it increases the damage done by primal strike if you're low level, and storm strike if you're a higher level. Improved shields, because when you get a chance to do the damage equal to your shield, it does more damage. Elemental devastation, that increases your melee crit chance when you get a crit chance of spells. Now we'll come on to that in a minute. Flurry, when you get a crit, increases haste. Ancestral swiftness is a good one when you're in raids, because it becomes instant cast, so you can quickly avoid stuff. Storm strike, now this ability does damage with each weapon, and also increases critical strike chance with your lightning bolt, or generally just your earth, your nature based spells. So when you've got more chance to get a crit with that, so then you've got more chance of getting increased crit chance with your melee attacks, which is good, so that obviously rebounds and gets you your flurry again. Static shock, that's 45% chance, this is with 3 points, 45% chance in applying the damage that's on your lightning shield, so obviously that is going to do more damage, and that's obviously going to prop more, so it's more DPS. Searing Flames, it does damage over time, equivalent to the damage it does 100%, up to stacking up to 5 times. Now I never use Shamanistic Rage, but I learned recently it's a good talent to have in raiding. I mean, it's a 1 minute cooldown and reduces damage taken by 30%. Generally good to have if you're in a raid where it does a lot of raid wide damage, so I'd pick that. Unleashed Rage increases expertise, which we are going to go on to in a minute. It also increases melee attack power by 20% and range by 10%, people with 100 yards of you. Now improved Lava Lash is really good, because it increases the damage of your Lava Lash by 20% for each application of your Searing Flames, by 20%, so that's obviously 100% if it's got 5 stacks. Maelstrom Weapon, this is a building move, where every time you hit with a melee attack, it reduces the cast time and mana cost of your nature spells, usually, and hex, by 20%, stacks up to 5 times, so at 5 stacks it's going to cost no mana and be instant cast. And obviously you want your Feral Spirits, because that's just damage that you don't have to do. Now, so that's the talents in enhancement sorted. We'll go into the next ones, which are in elemental. You want 2 in acuity, because it increases your crit chance with spells and attacks. But the reason we have 2 is because you want 3 in this one, which is increased damage done by your spells, well, certain spells anyway, but all these spells you're going to be using. Now you want 2 points in reverberation, because it reduces the cast time of your interrupt by 10 seconds, so it goes from 15 to 5, and it reduces the cooldown of your shock spells from 6 to 5, so it's an extra you're doing it more often, so it's more damage. And then put the remaining ones in elemental precision, as it increases all your fire, frost, and nature damaging spells by 2%, and that in itself is equivalent to your mastery. So click learn, and that's your talent point sorted. So now we'll go on to glyphs, which is next. Right, now we're on to glyphs. The reason I'm here is because I spent a bit of money unlearning my glyphs, so you could see me put them on slowly so it's easier to follow. Okay, so we'll get on with the next ones. Right, we'll bring up glyphs. Right, your prime glyphs, we'll start off with those. Now I use, obviously we use Storm Strike a lot, so we're going to apply Storm Strike. This increases the critical traits chance of your, well, the bonus that you get from Storm Strike by 10%, so instead of 25% increase, it's now 35% increase in crit chance. We use Lava Lash, and that's a big damaging move, so we'll whack that one in there. Obviously you're going to be doing it more, so you know it's going to be doing more damage. It does contribute a lot to your DPS. Wind Fury weapon, now that's one I use. It's got more chance of triggering. Now Wind Fury weapon has a chance of doing 2 extra attacks with 4,000 additional attack power, so that's quite a lot. So if that's doing more, you're going to be doing a lot more damage and a lot faster. Now we'll go on to major glyphs. These are the ones I use. So for the main ones, Lightning Shield. It'll never go below 3 charges, so you're not constantly applying it, but I apply it to the F key, so I can just constantly keep applying it, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'll never go below 3 charges now, so the only reason I have to apply it is because its duration is run out. It's got a 10-minute duration, so it doesn't take too long. Chain Lightning, I'm doing that because there's no other spell, so you might as well whack that in there, because you're not going to be using any of these. Fire Nova maybe, but it doesn't warrant using Chain Heal. And the final one is Hex, because well, there's no real reason why I use it. It's just a spare one there, and it's a good one to have for CCing and that lot. Now your minor glyphs, Renewed Life is obvious because you don't want to be carrying around stuff that you don't need. So I whack on Renewed Life, just so it don't cost a regent. Ancestral Recall, that's like a novelty one. It reduces the cooldown of your Astral Recall by 7.5%. Now it's already got a 15%, so it's 7.5%. So it's like a 7.5% cooldown Hearthstone. Obviously with your guild, it's gonna be easy to have pretty much all the time. And probably Water Walking's probably more, because you don't spend too much time underwater in the game, do you? So Water Walking is probably the best one to have. And that covers all your glyphs. So on to the next part, which I believe is kit, you know, jamming, mastery and all that lot. In a bit. Right, so here I am on the tower of just a random place in Stormwind, nothing really relevant, but anyway, we'll get on to gear and gemming. Gear covers reforging and what sort of kit you want to be going for. Now we'll start off with the most important, crucial piece of kit in my opinion, that there. Hit and mastery is what you want to be going for on your kit, because you want to get as much hit and as much mastery on your kit as possible, because when hit becomes an expendable stat, then you can reforge it into other stuff. So like crit I reforge out of because you don't need crit, and haste I also reforge out of because you don't need that either. So what you want to be doing is you want to be getting your gems, meter gem, 54 agility, 3% critical effect, because agility is your primary stats, which we see here, to increase attack power by blah 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 blah. So you want as much attack power as you can, so your spell power gains from it as well, so you get 7697 spell power from that as well. So you want your meter gem to be 54 agility, 3% critical effect. Red, you want to be 40 agility. I will find a yellow gem for you. There we go. Red, sorry, orange or yellow, whatever. You want your 20 agility, 20 mastery, because you want agility and mastery. Agility, mastery, and hit are your important ones. Any more? Yep, there you go. See, 20 agility, 20 mastery. If you're a jewel crafter, you want 67 agility. All three of them, 67 agility. It's only if you're a jewel crafter. And if you're a blacksmith, you want your 40 agility, and again 40 agility, and obviously in your belt buckle 40 agility. Because your agility increases attack power, which increases spell power, and half your damage comes from spells. So I'll show you all my kit and what I've reforged into and why. That hasn't reforged because they've got perfect stats, so I just left that, just gem that, and put the 60 agility, 35 haste, which you get from Ramkehen, I believe it is. I can't pronounce that. Ramkehen, whatever. Now, as we're a melee DPS, you want expertise to be 26 or above, so the bosses can't dodge from behind because you're going to stand behind the boss. Alter action is the only exception because you can't stand behind him, but he can't actually parry from the front anyway, so you're going to be standing behind him so they can't parry or dodge. So as long as your dodge chance is 0%, if you're standing behind the boss, you won't be able to be mitigated, or whatever you want to call it, dodged, whatever. Now, so make sure your expertise is 26 or above. That doesn't mean 27 out of 27, that means 27 on main hand, 27 on off hand. The only reason they're offset is because races such as orcs get increased expertise. So if I was an orc, it'd be, and say that was a sword or whatever, say that was a sword. I can't use swords, but I'm saying if I was a Death Knight, if I was using an axe and a sword, if I was a Death Knight, that'd say 27 and 30, because I get 3 more expertise if I use axes or maces if you're an orc. Now, you also want your important thing is spell hit chance wants to be 17%. That's why hit chance, hit and mastery is important, because hit increases your spell hit chance, so you want that at 17. So you're basically needing a hit chance equivalent to a caster. You're not a caster, you're only half a caster, but you still need the full 17% hit chance. Now I'm a Draenei, so I need a bit less hit rating, which is a good choice. Now, so that's obviously unreforged. Now, critical strike chance, you don't need to reforge into, because if you look at your talents, you get increased crit chance when you crit with spells, and obviously my spell hit chance, sorry, not spell hit, my spell crit chance is 8%, but with 35% increase in critical strike chance I get with Storm Strike, so that's like 35 plus 8, which is 43% chance to crit with these spells we see here. No, not Flame Shock, sorry, Earth Shock, Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, and I believe that's all of them, isn't it? So anyway, looking at that, you get Reforge out with crit chance, and you want your expertise, so reforge into expertise there. Now you need to try and make it, I haven't on this, but you need to try and make it so all your kit has hit and or mastery. So that one's got hit on it. That one I've took out of the haste and put it into mastery. That one I've took out the crit, put it into expertise. Again, it's got hit on it. As long as it's got crit and hit and or mastery, you're going to be fine. That I've left hit and mastery. Hit and mastery are the key ones. If you see things with hit and mastery on them, try not to reforge out of them at all. Just leave them as they are. That's perfect. Hit and mastery, I've had to reforge out the hit to get the expertise, because if they can dodge your attacks, what's the point? That is unreforgeable. They're pretty cool weapons. There I've took expertise out and put it in hit, and you'll see why. Expertise I've reforged out and put it in hit as well, because my expertise was going well over. Crit I've took out there. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to mention as well. Blue gems, you want your agility and hit. You don't want straight hit, you want agility and hit, because you can get enough. And I believe that covers it also. Make sure all your kit has got at least hit and or mastery on it. So if you look carefully, it's like that's got hit and mastery, that's got hit, that's got hit and mastery, that's got hit, that's got hit and mastery, that's got hit and mastery, that's got hit and mastery on it, that's got hit and mastery, that's got hit and mastery, that's got mastery, just mastery, but it's got expertise, which is important as well. That one's got mastery, that one's got mastery, and that one's got haste and mastery. So as long as it's got, you know, hit and or mastery, you're going to be good. Because you want to be trying getting your mastery as high as possible, because it increases your fire, frost and nature damage done by 50%. So, you know, you're looking at half your spell power being put onto that, so just miles more damage, and that will increase your DPS. Now that covers everything for kit. Now I'm going to be going on to your DPS practice and rotation. Right, so I'm here at the raiding training dummy, the boss equivalent, Now I'm just going to start you off with a few simple tips for starters. First of all, you don't want to be standing in front of him, because he will parry, so right, we'll get behind him. Right, it's a bit squished, but my damage indication's there. Now one little tip I will lay for you is, as you can see there, I've got Shift F key, so just keep spamming F, and there I'll just keep next to him. Now one thing I have noticed is, if you put your totem down, your searing totem, it won't start automatically. Like, so if I put that down and hit it, if I eventually do it, there you go, you see it's not going, so you put it down again, and now it will. So now we're ready to begin our CPS rotation. Now I've got Maelstrom weapon, so you know I won't use that straight away, but this is how I open with my thingy. So I start off with Unleash Elements, which is 4, then Flame Strike, which is Shift 5, then Storm Strike, which is 2, then 3, then 5, and then if that's gone off, 6. Right, so I'll just stop up there. We'll stop up there. Oh shoot! Right, I'll just wait for that to reset. Like 14k. Right, that was like. I see. I'm still not getting used to this scatter thing. What is it? Damage, DPS. Is it this? No, we'll leave it at damage, and we'll go reset. Right. It's still attacking. Right now. Now I'll do it at full whack. I can actually do this with one hand, except for obviously needing to put my totems on, which is middle button. But we'll start off straight away. So I'll go do that. Right click 4, Shift 5, and then put it down again. Put them down again because the totem doesn't work. Then go 2, 3, 5, 6. And now what you do is just wait for more to come off cooldown. So unless obviously 6 procs. Now do that. See that. Now when you do thingy Unleash Elements, wait for Flame Shot to come off, then do that, and just keep doing that, and just wait for them to come off cooldown, basically. So if you wait for them to come off cooldown and Maelstrom Weapon procs, you want to make sure you're doing your Maelstrom Weapon preferably first, just so it gets, you know, it stacks a reset at 0, so you know it's not constantly just at 5, and generally that will work. If you can see your totem's about to go, just whack them down again like that. Preferably do it when you've got no, like I'll give you an example, like try and do it when you've got no when I've got everything on cooldown. So I've got everything on cooldown now, so see an opportunity to put them down there. There we go, on the set, not interrupting my DPS whatsoever, and that's a good rotation for me. As you can see, I'm doing 23. I'm gonna try and I'll try and do it up. Right, I'll try and get it to 25k. Right, so I'll just have a bit of a focus. Just whack it. Did you just parry then? I'm still bloody behind. Oh well, never mind. Right, so I'm just doing my corner. It's that douchebag up there up front, bloody attacking him from the front. Never mind. This is just testing his thing. He might be an arms warrior, because arms warriors rely on them dodging and parrying. Oh, my 24.5. So just keep going up. Come on, I can do this. So I can see my totems going out. It's at 20 seconds now. So what I'll do is do that, and then put it down in the window of opportunity. So then it doesn't interrupt my DPS. It gets nicely settled. Weapons. I mean, what I do keep doing is keep glancing at the top right hand corner of the screen for my Maelstrom stacks. It's at 4, 5. There you go. So you can do it pretty much instantly. And that's the best rotation I've got so far. 24k. 24k, nice little thing for you there. One thing I do have is G set to heal, so if I'm taking a bit of damage, just quickly whack G like that, and it heals me for a lot. So I've got my 2 set bonus, which increases the damage and healing done by 20%. So, and that's that, and that's generally it. And I think that's the end of the guide, if I'm honest. I know it's been a long one. I think it's about only 20 minutes or something like that. But this is the guide that I put together for you, just to sort of help people out with Shaman enhancement. If you've got any questions or anything, you know, feel free to comment and ask questions and stuff, and generally send feedback. I'm going to be doing a few more things. I might, because I've got a healing off spec, so I might do a little healing guide as well, but this one is the one that I feel most confident in. So as I say, if you've got any questions, I mean, subscribe. I'm going to be doing some more videos as well, and I hope this guide's helped you in a fair bit. If I've left something out, as I say, just throw me a few comments or whatever, send a message, or you've missed this, you've missed that, and I'll gladly whack all the stuff I've missed in another video that I do. So I hope that this guide has helped you out in some way, shape or fashion, and I will see you later in a bit.